is on its time. We have Luchi, Kyrie, Sans, Keyboy, Kelrock.
It's in the name, it's Entity 7! Akashi, Pylon Bush, Shin, Doom, and Bagoon.
And please welcome Young Gun Galacticus, Ying, Han, Kaizen, Blink, Sanji.
The Hop and Pocket Samurai Giants! Cram! And Sakai's!
For our opening match of the day, we have Team Vamos! Sapat, Error 404, Klokun, Zekif, Natko.
It takes two to tango, so please welcome their opponents, Team Falcons Mena! Sanji, Boyet, Cuffin, Sano, and Troll.
And you know what? We mentioned 16 teams, but now only 15 are on stage and we don't even have a trophy yet.
I think that's coming in a special way, so please join me in welcoming our MSC 26 trophy held by our MSC 2025 at EWC Champions, Team Liquid! Sanford, Carl TZ, Sanji, Teddy, and JP.
In pursuit to defend their title, Team Liquid is in the arena. "16 of the best teams in the world, eyes on the prize." And of course, as we head into the land of dawn, only the best will prevail. It's time to rise above.
Bloodshed, tears, and glory. Bloodshed, tears, and glory. The Land of Dawn calls for contenders once again.
Against all odds, GK Esports is here to win MPL MENA Season 9.
Guangzhou Gaming! They go straight to the main stage. Ignite Gaming! MPLSG Season 11 crowns a new team. True Rippers are your champions.
The place where a new chapter begins. The newcomers.
MSC at the EWC Paris. For many of us, this is our first.
We may be the underdogs.
We may have sacrificed everything to come this far.
We'll prove why we belong here.
It's the first MCT Grand Finals, and Entity will be your first champions.
Bro! Esports is the reigning champion!
Team of Falcons will push forward to the main stage of MSC.
Congratulations! Vamos, as you punched your ticket to France for EWC!
Breaking barriers, defying limits. The aggressors come with nothing to lose.
We carry the expectations of our country, our families.
The fans who believed in us.
This is the stage we've been working toward. Maybe this is where a new dark house is born.
Aurora Gaming and wiped the Young God Galacticos out!
Megatron have not merely joined the Kings, they have become the Kings!
And the Dragons of the North defend their Empire spirit!
Challengers of the throne, the Titans stand ready.
We have already achieved what many thought was impossible.
Whether it's defending our regional title
Or taking down the champions of our region.
We're here to break curses and set new milestones.
Falcons AP Runner moving on through the grand finals!
Slangor Red Giants are your new champions, MSC 2023 champions! Honor!
Team Liquid!
The most beautiful things are also the deadliest.
And Team Liquid bringing in the trophy, letting everyone know that they have been put on notice. They are going for the defense of MSC. What a journey that was, seeing you guys were hyped on that. Yeah. Before we even jump into this game, the draft starting soon, just, Mirko, what does this mean for these teams coming here to play for MSC?
This means everything, man. This means everything for all the players, not just playing for EWC, going to Paris for MLBB. You know, I don't think any of these players, I think I speak for a lot of the talents as well, no one expected this game to bring us all the way to Europe, to Paris. To compete here, it's an honor for them, and to represent their regions, their organizations, it means everything in the world and more.
Gentlemen, you know what I saw there. It's a lot of motive. But before that, this is my champion's pick.
Yeah, and it's two champions, one game. My champion's pick. The event is now live from now until July 27th. So make sure to get involved. LaFell, you were saying.
Like I say, man, watching that video, it was so high because the thing that I got out of that is the motives, man. Like everyone here, there's more than one reason why they are here. They got the spirit. They got the energy. They're fighting for their family, their friends, the pride of their country, and also just to take down the final boss. And Carl, like, that was such a hero shot by saying, try. I'm here. I'm waiting. If you guys can't stop me, I'm gonna win it over and over again.
If we were to tell a story before it happened, and we were gonna give a little bit of a prelude and an idea of what could be the story for Team Vamos or Falcons meta before they jump into the draft, Mirko, what would it be? Would it be rising against the unthinkable odds to secure what no one expected them to have? In your words, how would you put what begins right now?
Absolutely. I think especially after that opening, you saw the peak of MLBB. Now we go all the way down to surface level. This is where Vamos and Falcons meta started. Heck, Falcons meta had to start below sea level.
Jeez.
I mean, like, here's the thing. Everyone has proven that they're good enough to come here at EWC. But once you're here, good enough is not it.
Nope.
Even being your best is not enough. Even being perfect sometimes is not enough. You have to somehow break your opponents in the process.
Nothing is granted.
And good enough is not good enough. I like that. You got to somehow be your best, but you have to also let all the things that happen in a tournament happen and still survive those bounces. We've seen it in the World Cup that just ended. The ball doesn't always bounce your way. You have to navigate those moments where things feel good or they don't feel good, Mirko. And as we do narrow in and we see the big picture, we get a chance to now kind of focus our attention on two teams that are climbing that mountain. And in this way, as we take a look at the map reveal, it starts that mini moment of, hey, this is going to be what we're playing. Broken walls. Looks like it's going to be the map, LaFell. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, one of my thoughts is this might be just a little bit better for Falcons Mena here because they might go for a composition that has a tank jungle that can go for an early invades and able to get out of that scot-free. And Broken Walls may not be the very best for picks like the Fanny or the Ling. We'll see whether even in that situation, Air 4-4 will still go for those picks.
And as we do look at these picks, and again, narrowing down, we see the map. Now it's time to almost start looking at what is the composition, because this idea of the jungle has been something you guys have been discussing in the green room quite a bit. Mirko, for those coming in, do you really expect to see a lot of, I guess, the unique heroes that we saw at MWI increase because that jungle has become more available?
I think we're going to be seeing a lot more unique heroes, but not the ones that we saw at MWI.
Okay.
A few of those heroes we already saw at MWI. Again, a lot of utility jungle usage all the way to the grand finals. I feel like we're going to be seeing a lot more aggressive picks here. Assassins coming down, and even maybe a bit more diversity in mid. We've been talking a lot about the jungle. I think now we need to move our focus into the mid lane. In the last few years of MLBB, it almost seems like it's just been 1 to 3 heroes in the mid lane. I think the meta has opened up a lot. I think a lot of picks that you guys back at home aren't expecting will be coming out because of the assassin picks. Those vulnerable heroes like the Yi, like the Farsas, or even the Gorge that have been meta for a while may not see the light of day. Heck, we might see more heroes like the Kadita, the Eudora to deal with the assassins.
So that entire meta shifting because there's more pressure.
Yes.
From the dangerous jungles.
It's volatile.
That'll be interesting to see. And, you know, I want to go back to it. Star players. I mean, we talked about Arrow 404, but Zekeef as well has been somebody who has kind of been that new version of Team Vamos trying to claim that youth. LaFell, how do you feel about just this team, Zekeef, Arrow 404, their synergy coming into this?
Their synergy is amazing because the thing about Zekeef is he's almost redefining how you should be playing the roam, which might be quite interesting in this current meta here because he can play a front line. He can be the toughest guy just to get all the ults out and then let it be safe for his team to go in. But also, sometimes there's a situation where he has to be the carry where he use some damage dealers where, sure, eventually he will toughen up, he will be that front line, but in the early game, he makes life hell for the opposing jungler. So I want to see if they want to go for that kind of strat here. And Zekeef is one of the new prospects coming out of Malaysia to be a top roamer here in the international stage.
Expect a lot of that, by the way. Hirara, Fanny, both banned out. From what I've heard, those are 2 most prioed heroes. The Atlas is first pick prio for Team Vamos. This will erase a lot of that pressure and actually a lot of the comfort picks from Falcons Mena. They've been playing utility jungle with an Atlas here. It's going to be very, very tough to pull it off. So they might have to already move in a different direction.
Goya and Sanji trying to do their best with the 2-pick response. But that's what you hope a first pick does, right, Mirko? Just kind of sets the team picking second on the defensive end so they don't get to set the tempo of this draft.
Yeah, especially because I feel like for now, in terms of the roam, there's not a lot of counters for it. It's a very safe early pick. It's really the EXP as well as the jungle that can really get counter out. So I kind of feel like that's something that Vamos wants to be careful of. If they see certain picks coming up from Falcons Mena that makes it much easier, then they will go for it. But look at this. Falcons Mena already picking up the Arlet as well as the Valentina. The Valentina, I think, is just an overall okay pick, but also maybe to deny support of a potential pick for the Sora. But the thing is, Paquito is still there. Esmeralda is still there. There's still good picks for Vamos here. So the Arlet, I think maybe just to take it away from Silpai, but also doesn't it show that Falcons, they want to pick up a Nakai later?
Could be. The Guinevere gets picked up though for Team Vamos, so they need a little bit more damage in gold or mid. There you go, the Eudora! I called it. I was going to say, against the Valentina, this is an amazing pick, and I've been hearing a lot in scrims. This hero isn't just in the meta. It is prio. It is a first phase pick. Falcons Mena lean back to their comfort, and I'm so happy we get to see the Eudora straight up because I've been talking about it behind the scenes.
And I gotta say, even as a tank, it's surprising by how much poke damage that she does, not even by using her ult. So this is going to be very interesting. Right now, we're looking at the opening picks coming in from both teams. Rather similar, except for Rome as well as EXP. We see here for Vamos and Falcons Mena, they have their junglers as well as their mids. For Vamos, they have a roamer, and for Falcons Mena, they have their EXP. For now, Falcons Mena, it does look like they're going for a more team fight composition. A lot of crowd control and a lot of AoE. Coming in from Vamos here, there's a lot of of, I would say, crowd control coming in from the Atlas as well as the Guinevere. And now Falcons Mena, they understand how important the EXP is, so they're taking out the Yuzong. And for Vamos, they want to make sure that the side lanes is not going to go crazy, so they're going to be banning out the Moskov. I wonder if they will ban out the Claude as well, considering I feel like they might have an okay draft for a Claude.
LaFell, you know this team very well. They're from Malaysia, and what would you like to see from them to complete this draft? What's somebody you'd like to see picked up here to complete this lineup?
I want to see something fast that can invade the jungle coming in from the EXP, something like a Paquito or Esmeralda, because the thing about how both Era 4-4, the jungler, as well as Zeke, the roamer, how they like to play is a lot of forward momentum. They like to be in the face of their opponents because they know they have the strength, they have the firepower for it. But for that to happen, if their EXP wins the lane, they're going to try to end the game as fast as possible by 14 minutes, 12 minutes. Like, that's how they speed up the tempo.
And I feel like, especially for Vamos, having a person like Nat Goat in the gold lane makes it a lot easier for them to move around the map. Like, they don't need to go just for neutral objective fights here, because, again, Falcons Mena, they kind of have a combo to control neutral objectives. So who's to say it's all about neutral objectives at this point? You have a winning matchup in mid with the Eudora against the Valentina. You have a very, very mobility-centric composition with the Guinevere and the Atlas. I think they might go strong side gold here. They ban out the Moskov. The Claude could be an answer. They go for the Cho to deal with the Atlas. I wouldn't be too surprised if we see a Bruno here for Vamos.
Yeah, honestly, like Natko, as long as he gets a pick that can survive a lot of engage, which, by the way, I kind of feel like, sure, these are 4 scary heroes for Falcons Mena, but I feel like there's quite a few gold laners that can survive that kind of onslaught. So now all we're looking for Vamos here is the gold lane as well as the EXP. The Esmeralda is still up, but they do need a little bit more damage, so I wonder if they want to go for something else. Yeah. In terms of Natko, there's a lot of picks in the gold. There's still the higher of the Claude, and like you said, the Bruno. I feel like none of those are bad choices here.
Well, typically, you know, we've talked about kind of coming into this, the difference between the aggression versus the calculated approach of these gold laners. Natko being, as Mirko had said, just very, very aggressive, wanting to push tempo, but Sano wanting to take his time, get to that late game. They're getting their last couple of picks here. How do you feel this has set that storyline up between two different styles in the gold lane?
I feel like having a weak side Claude here for Natko is going to be amazing, especially because it really does feel like they're going to be playing a lot of 4-1, maybe a 1-3-1, but I'm really feeling like a 4-1 formation here for Vamos, letting Natko absorb maybe 2 sides or 2 minions in the gold as well as the mid, and now a Bruno for Team Falcons Mena. I gotta say, for Vamos, I'm liking the idea here, and Falcons Mena, it looks like a very easy to execute draft.
Yep. For Vamos, I think it's also pretty easy, right? It comes down to who executes better right now. If Vamos can play the strong side of the map, play around those neutral objectives, win out the skirmishes early on, and it's going to be great. But Falcons Mena, I feel like they have more ways right now to play around their gold lane if that neutral objective loses out.
If you think somebody won a draft, is it leaning towards Falcons for you?
I'm leaning more towards Vamos.
Towards Vamos.
Yeah, same.
You too, LaFell. It's obviously a great showcase of two teams coming in with different strategies. Natko and Sano in the gold lane trying to go toe-to-toe in terms of their dynamic. Will aggression win over calculated patience? And will Error 404 find a way to be the young star that he is? It's our first game of MLBB MSC at EWC 2026. I know two guys who are ready to call the action. It's Naisu and Gideon HQ.
It took us weeks, if not months, for everyone to make their way here to the Mid-Season Cup in Paris. And we're going to find out the next champion for MSC here at EWC 2026. It's me, Naisu, Gideon, to bring you the action to start off our group stage. Gideon, we have to talk about the Eudora.
Oh yeah, this is interesting. This is really interesting to see because most of the time, most people wouldn't even consider Eudora to be part of this particular meta, and Clawquinn has already missed a couple of minions, which is already pretty bad look for the start. But the laning phase is by far the hardest part for the Eudora.
The Eudora, it went through an interesting change, man. I mean, when it was its older self, you know, she kind of had a one kind of trick, like, here's my ultimate, here's a bunch of damage. But now I know LaFell mentioned it. You know, you can actually do quite a bit of damage just with her first skill even.
Yes, yes. That Fork Lightning is now interesting. Now that they've kind of revamped the way that her passive works, especially with the Superconductor. Now, if you look over Troll, right, he's got that little indicator, and that's because that's the Superconductor stack. If he's able to hit with another ability, you can empower it to do some things. Now, Fork Lightning is particularly interesting because now you can start getting some movement speed on top of extra DPS. So you start kiting around these people if you can apply it more effectively.
Yeah, one thing too is we got a chance to go ahead and call the games during the wild card. You know, we got to see Falcons MENA make their way through that gauntlet that it was. Again, even those best of ones were pretty brutal. We know that they developed over those weeks, you know, or that week, those days that they had to play. We heard that they didn't even have much practice, you know, but they managed for the first time to get to the points in the group stage here for MSC after all that they've been through. And again, this is a team that we talked about that has this kind of innate synergy between each other, right? They've played together so much on the international stages.
Is it going to happen? Air 4-4 is waiting for 30 full seconds until level 4 has been hit straight away with a combination, but it's going to get disengaged instantly. Landshaker will buy a little bit of time, allowing Air 4-4 to get on out of there, but the final slash will put Sabat in a compromised position with no flicker. First blood, achieve fatal links as well to combo in, and the power of friendship nets them 4 kills in the first 2 minutes of the game.
Hey man, forget the turtle. Let's just go get some bodies, and they'll do this, just that. First turtle's going to be theirs as well for Falcons MENA. What a start. Let's take a look at the replay here, brought to us by STC. I mean, again, man, this was a setup waiting to happen. A flicker, a stolen fatal links for Cuffin was the setup.
Yeah, great eyes on Cuffin, actually, because he saw the angles. Like, maybe I can actually get a little bit more. They could have been happy with just 1 kill, but they decided we're going to go above and beyond. And now, unfortunately, that wasted 30-second angle that Arrow 404 was sitting up on that top side forward to try and unlock Sabat has now failed, and now has put him significantly behind, because if you look at Boyat, he's already level 6 to Arrow 404's level 4.
Yeah, this is one of the things, again, where, you know, if you're able to go ahead and get these early starts into this game, the current meta that we're seeing, snowball potential can be quite insane, and you're talking about a 2,000+ gold lead already at this point, nearing that 4-minute mark. You're setting yourself up successfully here for Falcons MENA. And across the board, too, Troll, again, one of the, I would say he's a prominent Cho player. This is probably his best, or one of his best picks that he brings to the table. It's what he kind of made a name for himself in their first international experiences. And, you know, now that you have this lead, you can take that chance. Try to set things up. Oh, Troll.
Speaking of setting things up, they already have the Wombo combo of a lifetime, but Troll, they don't have enough base damage to kill him just yet. Luckily, he is rocking the tank emblems, able to keep him alive for the time being. But for now, it just goes to show they're just getting stat checked early on in the game.
Stat check for now. Here's another.
Oh, now once again, getting the superconductor off of Boyet. Well-timed heavy spin. Now, this is the big issue that I'm seeing, right? Because Vamos, they've got a lot of wombo combo tech. If Falcons MENA are in the right place at the right time, that heavy spin kind of counters everything. Same can be said about the final slash at the end. But the fact that everybody has flickers, it really goes to show, yo, we are here to fight, we are here to combo, and that's it.
The heavy spin's so good, man. And that's why the Akai, over the course of the past weeks, if not months up to this point, he's been taking a value in terms of hits. Whoa, Troll, I was waiting for it.
Already had the way of the dragon, but Sabat manages to get on. Do we see the punish? And yes, it is good. It pulls one more over the wall. Almost unintentionally, but they already saw everything. This is one back, a double kill for Vamos to pull him back into a better position.
Hey man, Vamos brings himself back into this game. They should be able to go ahead and take this turtle as well, so they'll even out the objective. Turtle takes really good counter punch. Again, this was Troll starting that fight up, but Vamos saw it coming and they responded exactly how they needed to. Now after the turtle, they'll rotate down to the bot here. They want to put some pressure on Sana if they can.
Very, very nice. I like the way that Vamos is taking advantage of this, right? Initially, the game plan is if he just gets Sabat a slight lead in the lane, that lane should be basically done for, and then we can go straight back into team fighting and play for our strong side like Miracle mentioned earlier.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
Oh, wait, the dragon. Onto Z deep side?
I don't know if that's who you want to kick, you know? I mean,
yeah.
Here's what... You're just saying hi. Here, I'm going to kick you in the air. You know, I know you're an Atlas, but he might have wanted that here. Oh, on the turret?
I don't know. He probably would have wanted the way of the dragon. It'd be nice if he had it, but Nako still has Purify, so it doesn't really matter. Very surprising to see that despite Nako not exactly having the greatest of matchups into this Bruno, that he usually, Bruno usually is the one who takes down the first turret. This time, it's Natko.
And Natko's up 700-ish gold, almost to the 700 point, right? This is, yeah, again, one of those cases where you see a lot of gold laners, they just kind of sit in their lane, they do their thing, they get farmed up. I call it the gold lane experience. And for a Claude especially, you want to hit that power spike, right? Those 3 items. Bruno hits it a little bit faster because of just the nature of the hero. But, you know, right now, both gold laners are set off in a really good momentum in their own. This is Zkeep actually looking for a potential pick, but it's not going to happen. Now Natko can just go ahead and switch over sides and continue to farm up.
I think what you meant was actually Claude's the one who gets it faster. His items are significantly cheaper compared to like Berserker's Furies and Ha's Claws, right, coming in from Sano. So the fact that we're seeing Natko already doing so well, oh boy, this is dangerous. Final Slash coming through and Zkeep getting Wombo combo to the ground. But let's see whether Falcons can reach for a little bit more. They decide not to after using 4 ult and they back away.
Okay, so no flicker burn. It looks like Falcons Mena. Do they still want to put some pressure here, Troll?
They're trying to call it. I think that at least for Trolls, it shouldn't be anywhere close. I'm not 100% sure. This Cuffin definitely can steal an ult.
A little look there at Boyette. Here we go. Turtle, third one of the game, last one here. Fighting for space.
Already, spatial migration is good. Now into the Blazing Dew, and Natko somehow is the one who actually takes away this turtle, and now they're on to Boyette. A double kill for Natko so far, and they're not done. Do they have the Fatal Links actually pull? They've delayed enough time, and Sanji, unfortunately, cannot outplay into 4 members.
Okay, the firepower seems to be there for Vamos. They get the turtle, they're looking for more fights, potentially here.
Ooh, and now underneath the turret, stolen Fatal Links on towards Natko, but it doesn't matter. He has Purify, gets out of there quick, and now, in fast succession, from that bot tier 1, they've taken away the purple buff, they've taken away the mid turret on top of defending their own jungle.
Vamos is taking a whole lot, man. I mean, think about it. Just minutes ago, you have that 2,000 gold lead for Falcons Mena, and it's changed so quickly. You know, the pendulum has now swung over to Vamos. They're knocking down tier 1 turrets now, taking what they can to set themselves up for that first Lord here in about a minute. Looking at the items coming into place. Again, look at the lead between the gold lane.
Yeah, it's actually kind of ridiculous. I'm not 100% sure. I think maybe 1 recall is what I spotted out in the laning phase, but then after that, not 100% sure how badly it went for him. But it's great for Natko. Like, this is the gold lane experience that every gold laner prays for. Let's look at the gold distribution for a deeper look. Oh, wait, hold on. Immediately, we find a pick off the support side. The Fatal Links eye catches onto 3. Heavy spin from Boyette. It's good. They're thinking about it. The combos are just too much. Sanji able to find it into 1 more. They need to get the last 2, but Clockwind and Echo have lost their front line. Beautiful train.
What happened to Vamos' positioning on the map, man? I mean, again, we were just kind of talking about how they had this lead. Let's take a look at the replay here. Once again, they just catch out Sapat. The rest of the team gets... Oh, they got heavy. They got heavy spun on, man. That's what happened.
Big heavy spin. No way to kind of buffer the spatial migration. And worse yet, it was literally at the edge of the mid lane wall. So a little unlucky. I think Vamos, no sweat to break, but it kind of evens out the gold.
Yeah, that's... essentially brought it to an even game for this first Lord now, as both teams fought for position. If you want to look at the upper hand for Vamos, it's they've got a couple extra turrets down, right? So they got a little bit more space to work with on the map. But Lord, and the fact that you also have an Akai in the hands of Boyette, and you have this kind of tanky front line to deal with this, you could potentially set things up off of your own initiation, depending on what Cuffin decides to do with the Fatal Links. He's got his own, so they're going to take their time with this.
Oh, look at this. Even Cuffin, Troll is looking for a flank angle. He's sitting around the purple buff, and the rest of the Falcons are actually dancing around this Lord. They don't actually want to take it. They just want to open it up. Fatal Links into 1 so far, right into the spatial migration. It's great, but that's already 2 fat ults already gone. And I'm not sure whether Air 404 is going to get it back up in time if Falcons do decide to rush this.
Yeah, it looks like they want to. It's half health on this Lord. Troll still trying to zone out here.
Oh, the way the Dragon already good. Fatal. Oh, wait, Air 404 gets pushed out of it, but he's still, with the spatial migration, gets the Lord in time. Sano in the back line gets caught by Natko, and by then, this fight is already over. They chase the last remaining members, and even with a Lightning Truncheon, it might just not be good enough. Cuffin, no more ways to dash. Zkeep kills him, and now the score is 9-8.
Wow, what a fight from Vamos. Not only were the Lords secured by Arrow 404, but you gotta give it to Sapat, man. He zoned out the proper members from Team Falcons. Natko followed through after that. You're gonna look at the replay here. Keep an eye on this setup. Again, Lord is secured, even amidst all of this. But then where Sapat goes, he even burns the flicker, zones out Sano. So much of your damage profile is gone there. Natko was sticking to him, and that's how he's capitalizing on the kills.
What I'm most surprised of the fact that they were able to steal the Lord. Like, everything that could have gone right for Falcons was already in the mix of this piece of bread that they were trying to bake, but unfortunately overcooked. And now Nako getting attacked by the epic spin. Luckily, the Winds of Nature keeps him alive long enough where the Dragon's going to kick him down, but the rest of the team can't seem to finish it off. Sanji gets him at the very end. Now Clockman finds the trade. Subpot gets them back, and with the damage dealers gone, this allows Vamos a free in on the attack. With stolen Fatal Links onto 3, but Cuffy can only do so much before he dies. Subpot takes him out, and it's over. Sano takes out 1, and this might be it. Sano finally is skilled just enough with no ults and nothing left. That should be it for Vamos.
Ooh, did it cost them though, Gideon? I mean, they lost that base turret. It's a good thing. Oh, are they going to chase down Air 404?
They can punish this. Yup, into the Violent Requiem. Sano forgot the alt timers.
All right. It was going so well until it wasn't, man. I mean, Sano had the space to work with. Like you mentioned, he hit that power spike where he's actually being able to do some damage. Again, he was, what, 2,000-3,000 gold behind at Natko, and, you know, that's really what they had to lean on. So, yeah, he's still quite behind, but he's starting to at least do some damage. The problem is in that fight, you know, Vamos lost Natko, but they have enough damage to actually pull through the fight, enough kind of durability to still duke it out, and that's also partly due to the lead that they have. Oh,
Fatal Links onto 1 so far. They haven't forced this. Sanji is able to get a really good final slash, but doesn't get that backline. Sanji has no way to reset. Tries to get out of the fight, but it's too late. Lapu's in the wakes, and now the heavy spin, unfortunately, can't do much about the scenario. What a catch here, and a lot of battle spells just gone.
Yep, that was the mark. Troll found the mark. Purify wasn't available because it was used in the last team fight that they had trying to defend the base, so they knew right to go for Natko. They took him out. Essentially, what does that do? It buys more time for Falcons Mena to kind of get back into this game. They've whittled down a gold lead a little bit, but essentially it's if they can find a pickoff, sometimes it might even be popping that Purify, you know? And that might be the case. If you can get these battle spells down, then your game plan for Team Falcons can be executed faster or better. And that's what Troll has been trying to do here. Now this Lord is up. Second one of the game. Troll's going to zone out Clockun.
They've already used spatial migration at this point. How are they going to close the distance? The backline needs to get zoned out. Sapa jumps in with the bravest fighter, but they're immediately focusing their energy onto Sanji. 50-50 here. Who's going to get it? Sapa flickers forward onto Sano. Blazing Duet as well. Right onto Coffin. Stolen Fatal Links pulls him away, but that Lord falls into the hands of Clockun as they clean up the rest of Falcons who have to run back and defend the base.
Oh man, again, Team Falcons, it looked like they didn't know exactly how to execute the team fight there. And you know, if Sano is just zoned out the whole time by Sapat, what are you going to be able to do there with your damage? But right now, base turret in the mid will go down.
Oh, now trying to make this play. Clockun even flickering forward and trying to make the wobble combo. Cuffin goes down, and now nobody can clear the wave in time. Sanji, he has an opportunity. He's back up with Troll. They're looking to clear these minions as soon as possible. He's thinking about it, but he needs the help. Final Slash comes on through, but how long can you sustain before it all turns black? Vamos closes out the game 18 to 11. I'm not gonna lie now, Naisu. I see Vamos as these young guns, but this is the first time I've seen them so eager to win.
Yeah, this was a game that they knew they wanted to cap out as soon as they saw the light at the end of the tunnel. For game one, anyway. You know, it was very quick with how they shifted things in their favor. They adjusted their fighting prowess around the objectives, and that was the main thing. They also really excelled on punishing some positioning mistakes that were there for Team Falcons meta. But again, game one, it's only day one here, the group stage for wildcard, you know, or for MSC. You have a lot of things that can be adjusted from this as we take a look at the replay here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think there were a couple of missed moments from Vamos, right? Their over-eagerness did eventually cost them some pretty big timers. Like the Winds of Nature that was early purchased by Nako after the Trinity. For the early game, obviously they had some sort of a plan. Unfortunately, wasn't able to execute it perfectly, but they always managed to kind of push the agenda. And I think that's the really beautiful thing from both of these teams.
Yeah, again, fighting around objectives was the main thing for both the compositions that were brought to the table, but I think a big part of this, you know, you mentioned it, Claude, the power spike that he was able to hit faster than the Bruno, but also just the amount of lead that he had. And being able to follow someone like Sapat on that Lapu Lapu really gave you the space to just do so many things. And again, looking at these highlights, especially this team fight, Team Falcons Meta had the idea they had to get rid of Natko, they had to pop the Purify, they had to get him out of the picture, but even then I feel like they were just not able to go toe-to-toe in terms of team fighting, even if they got Natko out of the picture.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the hard stat check, you know? You can't keep up with somebody who's got more items than you. They're naturally going to beat you if they have more numbers. But I think that Falcons have some really good ideas, and Vamos is not invincible. This over-eagerness to try and, hey, we can win this fight. I'm going to start things up. You guys have to follow up. And unfortunately, they fail to forget that these are some of the best teams in the world. They're not going to miss that opportunity to sucker punch you when you're not looking.
Yeah, one of the things here, that's game one. We're going to be throwing it over back to the studio.
You and Gideon, great commentary on that game one. And Vamos takes the win, and they were not Vamosable, as we were saying backstage or on the studio. Welcome back. My name's Rain Day. I'm joined by Mirko and LaFell to break down the action in game one. Mirko, Vamos had a lot to say in that game. Sometimes it went well. Sometimes you couldn't really understand what they were talking about, and they let some of that lead go, but they ended up closing it out.
Yeah, as Gideon mentioned, man, it's just classic Vamos. Over-eagerness to make plays, over-eagerness to be aggressive in the early game, trying to utilize that composition. Got them in a few dicey situations, like that crazy miscoordination by Sapat and also Error 404 up top. But, you know, all is good. They were able to come back, you know, recover from that and do really, really well in the mid-game by taking those neutral objective fights as expected.
Yeah, I feel like in that game, one of the reasons why the eagerness wasn't that punished that well is because really what Vamos was trying to do was to disrupt the tempo, because they understand the timing for Falcons Mena where they like to set things up. So Vamos did not allow for the setup to really happen. In fact, there are some situations where they disrupt that setup by Air 404 going in. Even though he's the jungler, he's the first one to go in. And I feel like for Falcons, the reason why it didn't look all that well is because I don't think they utilized the draft that great. They weren't able to get the catches. There are some counter engagement that was good, but not enough.
Yeah, Sapat on the Lapu Lapu, obviously a big initiator and helped that team zone out. But also, I mean, in terms of the storyline there, at the M6 Swiss stage, I mean, we were kind of prepped on what this matchup means. Most of that team not here, but Sapat, one of the only members of Team Vamos when this team was formerly named Twisted Minds. The majority of this Falcons Meta team took them out of M6. So Sapat maybe still has something to prove, maybe a little bit more to his match than some of the others, and he certainly did it in this game.
Yeah, he recovered really, really well, and they were able to come back in this game from that early. Wait, how bad was it? Was it like 1,000 gold lead early on, right? The four-man pick.
It was almost 2,000.
Yeah,
it was almost 2,000, and then it goes down to 1,007 to 700, and then over to Vamos. I gotta say, Sapat, the biggest change a few years back until now. Those years, he was doubtful. He was like, I don't know if I can do it. But now he's like, you know what? I don't care. I'm the underdog. People don't see me as the potential champion. No pressure. I'm going to go in fearless.
Yeah, and sometimes that, like, kind of being in the moment, losing out on it, but sticking through it, it makes you a little fearless. You're like, what else can go wrong, right?
Morale is very important, man. Having that confidence, as this guy's doing 6-7 as well. Yo, Vamos right now, if I look at them again, if I look at Falcons Mena, I think it comes down to also Falcons Mena leaning towards their utility jungle picks that got them the wildcard win. The Akai pick was fantastic in the wildcard. Here as well, you can see why they picked it up against the Atlas. But I feel like if you look at this game again, you see that massive gold lead, you see that massive XP dip between the junglers, and you can see why it's going to be very hard for an Akai this meta if you fall behind. If you get all this early neutral objectives, all G, brother. But if you lose just a bit, which happened, I don't know how that happened, by the way, Natko stole the turtle once, and then the second or third time was Eudora.
The only reason I don't want to clip it is because there's so many times he just retreat early. He literally retreat early, and there was like about 100, 200 HP left. Yikes. Eudora stole it, and Claude stole it.
Well, you actually looked at a couple of clips that caught your eye. We have some telestration you're going to do for us, LaFell. Break down what you saw on that game one.
So I got two clips here. First of all, we got to look at the first mistake that really happened where for Vamos, like I said, over-eagerness. Right now, I want you guys to see here the positioning of Air 4 as well as Sapat. They're not on the same page. It looks like they're going for different targets here. Maybe the idea was Eric could solo kill the EXP lane here, and then Sapat, he just wants to zone away, making sure that the two members of Falcon does not arrive. But the problem is, as we play the clip here, we can definitely see the damage is not enough, as well as we see the Akai really pushing Sapat out of the way to the point there he had to use his flicker. And this is all while the turtle is going to be the next contest. This is not great coming in from Vamos, but it does look like they have a good idea that we just want to win the fights. We don't care about the neutral objectives at this point, and we can see it's heavily punished here, where looking at Falcon's lineup, you can see that they are a more team fight heavy composition with a lot more AoE and a lot more crowd control. So that's the first clip here that we see, but we also got to look at the second clip of where Vamos really turned things around, but it is also off of the mistakes coming in from Falcons. Thank you very much, Mirko, by the way.
Yeah, great assistance there.
Yeah, right now we see Subpai already use his Bravest Fighter, so he actually doesn't have a great way to engage the fight, but look at Aero 404. At this point, it really does look like Vamos, their idea isn't for those neutral objectives, they just want to go for the kills. As we play the clip here, we see that Troll is moving forward. They don't have full information of where everyone is, and then they just go for Troll because they want to eliminate the crowd control. That's the biggest aspect of why they lost in the previous fight. So they go on to this, and then we'll see here, actually Boyet had a slower retribution time. If I can release for a bit, hold on, 1, 2. Okay, hard for me to pause during that moment, but you can definitely see Vamos, they got the turtle, but that was not their intent. Their goal was to get for the kills, and they were able to do that. So good on Vamos. And then I feel like that's just something that Falcons has to look out for.
Great showcase and great assistance there. Assist of the game. We don't have MVP right now. We do have an assist of the game. That was Mirko, assist of the studio segment. Guys, I mean, that was to me also kind of the thing that Vamos made sure they were going to do, which is set the tempo. Yep. And I like how they also went to their strengths, which is we may not have the best team fighting team, but we can get individual picks really well. And when we do that, we can win the team fight.
Yeah, I think also, if we're talking about that team fight composition from Falcons Mena that Lefel pointed out, we have to take a look at Falcons Mena's eagerness to be the proactive team. It seems like for the entirety of that match, they were just leaning towards, all right, we're going to punish Vamos when they make a mistake. A few times it happened, but a lot of other times you could clearly see when they needed to push that turtle fight earlier, they didn't want to. On the Arlet, on the choke, you need to jump on the Guinevere before the Guinevere jumps on you. And because they were just too reactive, it caused them to lose a lot of those early fights that got the Akai super far behind for the late fights.
All right, well, we'll see what they can do to change things up. Coming up, though, for you, just a reminder that we've got Rhino Day. 2 games and 1 champion. Sorry, a brand new interactive effect. That's what it is for Rhino Day. And it's now available. Check it out and join the celebration. So a brand new interactive effect. Rhino Day, baby. I love it. So it's close to Rain Day right there. It's not.
Yeah, you know what?
I was like, am I doing something for MLBB?
That's you.
That's you.
That's me.
Rainy Day.
Well, I'm definitely down. Go check out Rhino Day. That'll be fun. And I think Mirko, too, when we start looking at game 2, what can we look at Falcons Mena bringing into this next draft that helps them in these moments? Because clearly they didn't suffer from having a good composition, but they did suffer from being able to execute it. And how do they solve that problem?
I think it comes down to, again, in the game they were too reactive. I feel like in the drafts they were also too reactive, right? Instead of going for their own prio picks, they were just reacting to it. They see the Atlas, they go for the Cho and the Akai. They see the Claw, they go for the Bruno. They're just trying to counter, getting these good matchups, but ultimately not having a composition that works together overall, or not even playing into the metagame that well, right? So I think the big mistake coming into game 2 that they should fix would be try to be the proactive one. Steal these prio picks away from Vamos before they get their hands on them.
Crowd pick's going to be important here for Vamos and for Falcons Mena. Vamos in this best of 3 have a chance to close it out right after this, but of course Falcons Mena trying to push it to a 3rd game. They're going to have to come with some adjustments for sure. A lot of time to check things out too, and when you're on a stage like this, Lefel, we mentioned the stakes and we also mentioned the bigger narratives of these teams. Wild card was not easy, and they got here. They do not want to go home or at least lose this first game on their first time at this stage 2-0.
Something that I do have to say is a lot of teams, they suffer from the fact that there's 16 teams, and sometimes you can't have the same mindset for all 16 teams, right? For example, we saw just now that Falcons try to play more methodical, play more slowly, play more reactive, but against a team like Vamos, this is a game that who starts first, they will most probably win, unless they just miss a lot of ability. So I kind of feel like it's difficult, but you can't look at Vamos like Team Liquid. You can't look at them like SRG. Maybe against Vamos, you have to be slightly bit more disrespectful. Be like, I'm just going to go fight for you because you're not that good enough, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, again, not to throw shade to Vamos, but this is the reality. When you're going up against competition where many different teams are here, you can't have the same mindset. You can't have the same strategy against every other team for the simple fact, not everyone has the same habits.
Broken walls. Again, Mirko.
Back to back. Oh, I don't know. I mean, they played it so well, Vamos, in that game. They even like doubled down on some of these ganks as well. So I think go back to the drawing board, do exactly what you did in game number 1. And for Falcons Mena, again, it's all about stealing those picks, maybe even stealing blue side, which they did. Fanny Ban, and I believe the Hirara. This is the question though, right? Do Falcons Mena play the Hirara? If the Hirara is left open, I feel like first pick should be the Hirara, but then Vamos just get their hands on the Eudora Atlas.
Yeah. I mean, like, here's the thing. Even Hirara was open. I don't remember them actually using the Hirara.
That's the thing. I mean, Wildcard was different, though.
Yeah, no, they would use a Hayabusa. They would use a Neeson Shin, maybe even a Nolan. So, yeah, we definitely got to see how it really shapes up here. For now, Falcons Mena looks like they're on the same side for Vamos when it comes to Phoveus. Phoveus is something that they do not want to deal with. And now Vamos themselves ban out the Atlas. So they're really respecting Troll here, making sure that Marcel and the Atlas is not there. And I feel like that's setting up just in case if Era 404 does want to use a more assassin-based hero. But I gotta say, shout out to Era 404. He is basically an assassin main. But going into the competitive scene, he was very open to use utility junglers, use fighters in the jungle. And I feel like that really stepped him up in terms of his career growth, because it makes it so much easier for Coach Valdo to draft for the team when you have such a willing player to do whatever it takes, whatever hero he needs to win the game.
And for Valdo, it's looking like more of the same, I would imagine, Mirko. Try to get Vamos in a similar position where they have control. You're noticing that ban right there. What do you see him?
Yeah. Hirara banned out.
And that means they can't use it.
That's why.
Yeah.
They banned it on first phase and on red side as well. It's a big question mark now. I mean, even if they get past Vamos, right, all the other teams will be looking to abuse that later on. So Falcons Mena, what's first pick? Is it the Guinevere take now that the Atlas is gone?
I honestly don't know. Like, the thing that I was kind of surprised at was that in the early phases, we don't see any Eve at all. And I still feel like Eve is one of the stronger picks here.
Juicin actually could still be.
Yeah, but the thing is now Hilda has been banned, right? Hilda, Atlas, as well as Marcel. I'm really looking at Vamos like they want a very fast game.
And this is just already very, very tough. They banned out the Phoveus, so at least they can pick up the Freya here and flex it to XP Gold. That's what I'm thinking right now. Vamos. They clearly did that intentionally. They also have an Esmeralda to play with if they want to deal with the Freya. There you go. Freya first pick for Falcons Mena. Now Vamos. Do they still go for the Eudora, though, is the question.
I feel like even if the Eudora may be the third pick here, because I feel like whenever Freya is present, there's really no mid that's completely safe. You know, maybe a Zushin can protect yourself, maybe an Eve can protect yourself. Eudora, you're probably hoping for your roamer to back you up just a little bit so that you have enough damage to make the Freya a little bit scared. But I haven't seen a scared Freya in a long time.
It's hard. I love that character. Actually, one of the few I've got some hours on in this game. And
Pro Freya.
Yeah, Pro Freya. Sub me in, guys. No, Team Falcons Meta going to handle this one themselves, but obviously a lot of presence there from
very early.
I love it. And the Eudora. See, I know it sounds strange to the people watching, you know, but I've been saying, I've been talking about this Eudora pick, and I've heard, shout outs to my source, that this is first pick, like this is first phase prio. It's not just that one time on blue side. It's really good against assassins, so you also want to snatch it away from your opponents if you want to go assassins, and that's what we see here with Ling and Eudora.
And I feel like that's also just a takeaway just to make sure that this Ling is going to be able to survive. So this is very, I would say, interesting coming in from Vamos. Looking at the bans, you know that it's going to be Assassin. You're just wondering which one. And considering it is Broken Walls, they still go for the Ling. I'm very excited to see how Air 404 pilots this, because it is one of the heroes that he used quite a lot in his amateur days, but we haven't seen his Ling on the pro field just yet, just because Ling hasn't been meta for a very long time. And now the Cho, I can understand, but the Valentina quite early on, we'll see how this works out.
This just seems like an easy Beleric pick for Vamos, right? Oh no, they just go for the, obviously, just the winning matchup. And
just all the power picks for Vamos here.
Because I'm thinking Falcons Mena could still pull off a Yisun Shin and then flex the Freya into gold. But maybe Vamos are thinking we can also flex the Esme to gold. We'll just match wherever the Freya goes. So, all right, fair.
Zekeef, Nako. Obviously, two important players for Vamos. They both had good games, a good game in game one. I feel like Sano's pace. How do you feel about this, Lefel? Was it enough for you? I mean, obviously going against Nako, it's a tough matchup, but different styles. But I think in general, Team Falcons Meta was a little slower in terms of those fights, despite starting off with 4 kills. What do you think they need to get Sano going?
Yeah, honestly, I feel like maybe 2 more gangs, they'll be able to deal with Nako. I mean, like, it's a good thing at the end of the game that Troll with the Cho was able to catch Nako a few times, so Nako wasn't that big of a factor in that one. I feel like it's just in general, Falcons meta in the first game, they look, for lack of a better term, like scared to do anything. So I feel like hopefully in game number 2, they're like, okay guys, wake up, you know, game number 1, it's whatever, it's a warm-up game. Yeah. Now we actually got to lock in. With this kind of draft, they have a Freya. Any draft that Freya, you're supposed to be a little bit more aggressive, so that's what I want to see. But I think Vamos already knows that, and they're already having a lineup that can fight early, honestly.
Could also be the Harith pickup for Vamos later on, a signature pick for Natko. Moskov gets banned out again. The Claude Snatch Away is also still there. I think for Falcons meta though, again, Belleric, I thought it was going to be red 3. They eventually ban it out. They know how much of a threat it is to their composition. All very short-ranged. So it just comes down to this. Do they want to go Yi Sun Shin on Boyet or no, right? Because if they don't, that means they're going to have to go back again, maybe on a Guinevere or some utility, another utility pick. They ban out the glue, so I think it's kind of like are they going for Fredrin?
I honestly,
I don't like it.
I hope not. I hope not, because then if they pick up a Fredrin, their mid trio doesn't really have a lot of kill pressure, and now the Minotaur is there as well. This is going to be pretty interesting because Minotaur is strong, but he's kind of strong when he has the Flask of the Oasis. Before that, he kind of feels like he's mostly just a support, which is funny to say because the Flask of the Oasis is, the heal is great, but the more important thing is actually that cooldown, right? Once you get a little bit of cooldown onto Minotaur, then it feels like a real hero where you're chain CCing with your team. So now Vamos, I feel like they have a pretty good pick. If this Valentina was swapped with the Zushin, I feel like they could have dealt with the Minotaur much easier.
And it's so good because, all right, the Harley comes around and Vamos were leaving okay, so it is a Freya in the gold lane. Alice goes to XP. Now Vamos, do they answer the Freya with a carry or do they flex the Esme into the XP, or sorry, into the gold lane? Oh!
Wow, okay.
Okay, this is crazy because my boy told me that this was showing up in scrims. I didn't know we were gonna get to see this early.
I mean, I also heard it's good seeing a few in-ranked games, but yeah, I honestly, this is a big surprise for me. I want to see how this Melissa really turns out.
What's the expectation kind of with the shock happening? Why is Melissa showing up here and making a big impact?
Firstly, that's my favorite hero. Secondly, they're all melee here, so they can't get past this ult of Melissa to go away. It's such a clean front to back with a little bit of spice to enter the back line.
Yeah, the thing that I like about Vamos Drive is that they have multiple win conditions. If the Link doesn't work out, you got the Melissa. If somehow the Melissa doesn't work out, you still got the Link. So it's very interesting.
Gonna be tough for Vamos to lose this one based on the draft. The studio likes it. We'll see if our casters like it as well. As game 2 underway between Team Vamos and Team Falcons meta. Vamos, if they win, they take the win overall.
Hey, we like it just as much, man. Me and Gideon also looked at each other at the Melissa last pick, but we're talking about Ling, Eudora, and Melissa in this game 2 from Vamos. Gideon, is this very Vamos of them?
This is the first time that I'm seeing it, honestly. And if Vamos want to take this angle, I don't think it's actually that bad. I agree with what LaFoe's been saying. Look at the emblems. It also reflects the exact same thing. They want to make sure that this early game actually goes well. What I am curious is about Hawkwind as well as Zcreef. They had a bit of a tough time at level 1 and level 2 in the previous game. And then by early mid-game is when you're expecting them to start, winning out on these fights and looking for these lane gangs. I want to see whether they can improve upon that.
Ooh, nice little aggression here from Troll, but Error 4-4 is going to be fine. Again, the Ling has popped up a few times now through the course of, especially back in MWI, right? We saw the Ling come through. Oh, okay. And it's one of the things, again, where you can actually kind of hyper snowball on this hero, and it's sort of a risk in itself. But, in this case, I feel like it's supplemented really well with that Minotaur pick, even hell, the Eudora pick, because like LaFell said, once you get that Flask of the Oasis locked in and you do get a little bit of cooldown reduction.
Oh, the Deadly Magic, it's almost there. One more auto attack, but he can't actually get it. And now the Tempest of Blades comes down right onto Boyet. First blood instantaneously. Arrow 4-4 showing some mechanics. Traded flickers, but we're not going to punish that. That one, that's just ego. That's just by the way.
Yeah.
We both don't need this.
Let's just hold on our flickers. Let's use them, right? But yeah, it's one of those things where, as you saw, the support from the whole team synergistically for Vamos is what's so important. They really have to work with their kits together to make this, where then again, you kind of just rely on Natko to do his thing in the lane, scale up on the Melissa. We don't see the Melissa often, but, you know, we've all been there. Once that Melissa scales up, gets the items that she needs, like, it is very annoying to deal with her. That go-away ultimate, pushing people away, especially the melee heroes that we talked about.
Let's see how this fight. The Deadly Magic's already out. Sipot takes the damage, but Throne of Ruin catches onto 2 in the backline. Clockwood in trouble, can't run away. No Flicker dies to Sano as they start running down the individual members of Vamos one by one. Air 4-4 thinking about it. Oh, the getaway just in time to deny the angle, and Sanji has to get away. Despite everything that happened, Vamos actually now have primary position over this turtle.
Vamos should be able to get this. Boyd's trying to get his purple buff. I'm not sure if he's going to get in range here. So turtle secured for Vamos. They'll win the objective, but there is some fight here from Falcons.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see. Again, especially, I'm curious about what Natko is going to go for his build, because he is doing phenomenal in this lane, like really surprisingly well. I would have imagined that when you were on that Freya, especially when you start thinking about the later stages of the game, the added range that Freya gets after using her ult actually is just a little bit bigger than the get away from me coming in from Natko. Well, unless they start spacing them out, but he's playing this lane perfectly.
Yeah, he is. So support, Troll wanted to visit, gets spotted out. The rest of the team from Vamos down there protecting Natko. Again, one of their winning angles, and there's multiple of them that they can play into throughout this game. So we got to see Team Falcons Meta kind of come up with their own game plan. Where is that game plan, I think, is the main question here, Gideon.
Well, I mean, the arsenal is ready, the flickers are up. I think it's about finding the picks, right? Because here, Natko can only trade back against Sano for a certain amount of time. At this point, Sano should be strong enough to win out these trades. His natural base HP is pretty high, so he is strong side. I think for Vamos, it's about trying to deny Troll. If they can put Troll, make him lose his like flicker, kill him early, get the way of the dragon out, it becomes a lot easier to deal with some of the other problems like Boyet or in particular Sanji and Sano.
Part of that game plan for Team Falcons Meta also might be, again, for Cuffin. This Valentino was talked about quite a bit in the draft, you know, now that's come through twice. And, you know, most likely from the other side, what ultimate's he going to take? Probably the Minuan Fury, right? Try to set things up. Not sure if there's much else that he can utilize there, but that's one of the things. If it's Troll trying to get a pick, and let's say he's, hold on, bottom?
Yep, this is guaranteed kill here. Natko tries to get away, but Sano says, it's all right. You know, I can still throw my abilities through your shield. It's not considered an auto attack. It's good enough.
Yeah, as soon as I said, if Troll can get a kick, he gets a kick on Natko. So good play made there down in that bottom gold lane. Perfect timing for this turtle to be up too. He's going to be back up, but they'll try to blitz this.
Oh, Troll right immediately on top of Clockwood, even though he had some peel, it's just not good enough with Throne of Ruin on top of him. Air 4-4 now cannot join this fight. He's thinking about trying to go for the steal, but he's getting blasted between the walls in midair. Now Tempest of Blades already up, looking for a trade onto Sano's side. The kick already came back up, and immediately Natko gets punished for it. They're looking for anything, but unfortunately the timings are all wrong. Sipot getting dove by 4 underneath the turret. Oz Esme, and finally Cuffin secures that kill.
Phenomenal fight there from Team Falcons, and I don't know, man. Natko's got to be feeling it. He's been kicked twice now by Troll. Definitely not feeling too good. And just when we thought, you know, as we look at the replay here by STC, you can see how this fight breaks out. You even come to this fight, Natko just revived, dies again off of the kick, and so now you're further behind. So that same scaling that we see in Game 2 is not going to replicate what we were able to see from Natko in Game 1.
Yeah, I think that Vamos might be allergic to getting Purifies at this point, right? Everybody needs that flicker to make a play, to get out of some pretty tight situations. The more reliable spell usually is supposed to be Purify, but at the same time, that makes you a susceptible target. Everybody is going to target you as soon as your abilities are down. And that should be said about everything, because now with quick rotations here, Sano should be able to take this top tier 1 without much contention.
Okay, turret down, Sano is able to do that. He is a menace to deal with. He's even got the Vengeance, which kind of just helps him, you know, dealing with if he decides, like what we've seen with the Freyas most of the time, they're able to go 1v2, 1v3 in some cases, and you get a start like this for Sano, you're going to be a big obstacle in the way. for Vamos to deal with when it comes to these team fights breaking out, especially when we get past this next turtle, then the Lord. So now it's Vamos' idea to, how do we make this work? Troll has been doing a great job just either zoning out, like being a threat, utilizing his kit, and whether he kicks someone or not.
Oh, wait, Tempest Ablaze, they've already thrown out some good abilities and a combo Boyette, and then into the Minoan Fury. Oh my god, it's a massacre! And now Sano looking to clean up the backline. Lord of Ruin does not connect, and Zeke, if he knows he's done for. Gets the heal just in time, and now Saban there for need a 1v2 Sano, and Sanji is trying to peel them off, but luckily they've got the DPS from Natco's side. Oh man, the reinforcements from every single angle. They might not be a professional team, but afterwards they should be paratroopers. They are dropping in hot.
Oh man, they have the clear signal to drop in. They went through. Unfortunate they could have capped out the kill. Last one on Sanji, but he is an Alice. That is a quick turnaround for Vamos. I mean, granted everything that happened there, they did have to expend a whole lot. We're talking about battle spells, the ultimates that they needed. They took him to the bouncy house, right? That's what the Minotaur does, man. He sends everyone into the air. You get thrown up there. That's a clear signal for Arrow 404 on the Ling to come in with that Tempest Blades and pick up some kills. So again, it's the nature of making these kits work synergistically as they now focus on Sanji here.
Look at this, look at this, look at the way that they're zoning out. Like, what is Sanji supposed to do? If they play a traditional front to back, Vamos wins that every single time. So Falcons are trying to just snap their elbows, break their joints to kind of open up the formation.
Yeah, a whole lot being broken here at this point. An attempt from Boyette on the
flank. It's good. Sano's trying Minoan Fury to try and buy a little bit of time as Natco repositions. Subot trying to peel the best of these can, but they've already lost Clockhood, and now Arrow 404 needs to make the difference. Way of the Dragon already kicked, and the Terrify as well, but luckily able to get the Bladed Tempest in time. Natco needs to be a threat. They take out Troll, and they should walk away from this, but they get Sano on the way out.
Oh man. It was almost so good of a team fight there.
Oh, whoa. Throw the Ruin into 2. Can he actually get enough to kill him off? 1 HP! And Sanji gets Natco.
What happened with that fight, man? We went back and forth. I thought Vamos was going to go ahead and disengage after that. They end up going for it again. So Falcons Mena ends up capitalizing a couple kills. That's better for them than that would have been, but still. What a bloodbath it's been. Lord's coming up in 10. Both teams showcasing they just want to fight it out. This Throne of Ruin initiation able to go ahead and take out Natco. Delaying them a little bit more was crucial here for Falcons Mena.
Man, that was definitely a never back down, never what moment. Both sides just refusing to let the kill score get anywhere past them. 1.4K, no big deal. But if they get one more kill than us, nah, we're gonna throw everything and see whether it sticks. Wait, Troll actually spots him up. Can they actually intercept this? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna be able to. I think they just have that vision on him again. Trying to keep tabs on Arrow 4. Mind you, he has not died. Look at this.
Oh man, it's gonna be Bruiser Harley, and finally some damage, and that's the third item with the Divine Glaive. Let's see how they play this out, because Arrow 404 is definitely going to be able to get that Lord first. Considering the positions of Falcons, like, they've got a widespread net, but they also understand the main damage dealers just don't have enough stats to finish the job.
I just can't picture that Brute Force breastplate under that wizard robe, man. He's like, I can't be getting all these hits.
How much you want to bet it's underneath the hat?
Probably is for some odd reason, right? So Lord secured. It's going to be marching its way with Vamos here in just a bit. But that's something that Falcons Mena can go ahead and defend against. They have to be able to go ahead and clear this out. Do they have decent clear? I think that's the big question. When you look at the heroes they have, how long can they clear out ways and defend? Maybe this one's fine. You know, first Lord push, they will lose some tier 2 turrets. But ultimately, defending in the base, is this a composition to actually capitalize on that?
Really, it is, and I think the only one who has decent wave clear in the later stages has to be Sano, but that's a big risk. He's melee, right? So if he goes up to touch that wave, Vamos is looking to capitalize on that wave. Wow, how did Troll get there? Why is Troll sitting in the mid lane here? He's got a bit of a flank. He's trying to make it happen. Conceal. He finds it. Natco's head. Throw the rune onto 4 straight into the descent of Valkyries, and now the backline's getting attacked. Arrow 4-4 looking to try and get something underneath the Vamos banner. 10-10, and now it might be 11-10 here as Boyette finds Subot.
Hey, Troll does it again, man. Troll goes off on an angle you wouldn't see.
Oh my
With
goodness.
the conceal as well. Finding Natko again. You know, there is no go away from me if it's Troll's Cho.
Dude, Troll, he is a sniper here. He is just finding crazy angles. And for now, I would say that these two teams, the power of friendship is strong in both.
Yeah, right now too. Lord was basically dealt with. It did get the shield, you know, but ultimately Vamos on the first Lord wasn't really able to get too much off of it. Much better for Team Falcons meta that they were able to go ahead and stop that push from happening. They do maintain the tier 2 mid turret for now, but off of that, again, leading into this next objective is where they want to go ahead and focus on. A winner crown is picked up. Sanji has been doing a phenomenal job on the Alice, man. He's been able to set up Troll again on the hunt.
Oh, man, they find an insta-kill, and Natko just disappears into dust. His Clockwind is the only damage dealer next to the Blade of Tempest, which you haven't seen being used yet. Arrow 4-4, he was too busy clearing those waves, and it's forcing Falcons to make a choice. There's no wave to deal with right now, and they might lose an inhibitor on bot side for nothing. All for this purple buff.
Okay, choke out what you can, continue to find Natko. Vamos has to do something about this. They can't just let Troll continue on coming off from that backside and then just kicking Natko. When you lose your gold laner like that, your damage is really expended. Yes, you still have a Ling. Yeah, you still have the Eudora for that magical damage there, but man, losing the Melissa, especially if you're supposed to be popping out all of that damage in these team fights, it's a big problem to deal with, and Troll's been just everywhere. When you don't even expect him, he's just giving information like this to the rest of the team.
Yeah, they got to bring those phones closer to their eyes, unfortunately. It's really tough to see the conceal, especially when you're so close to a wall. It just looks like just a moving shadow. Arrow 4-4 losing 50% of his HP. Not great. He needs to heal back up by auto-attacking.
Oh, they want to blitz.
Oh, here comes Throne Ruin. They want Blade Tempest already comes up, and they called it with a flicker. Arrow 4-4 does fine, at least the Lord, but Natko, he's able to start kiting them out. This was the problem, and Owen Fury catches onto one, but the backline Asano needs to get at least one, but it's too late. Clockwind, really good peel. No flickers being used by Zkeep or Clockwind as the rest of the team now takes advantage of Falcons.
Yeah, again, I don't know if Falcons meta just kind of got scrambled around with trying to keep tabs on Arrow 404, or, you know, that's the nature of having the Ling, but then this was a really good play. As we look at the replay here brought to us by STC, you can see this. They blitzed that Lord. They made the quick decision to go for it. That Go-Ami was already dropped down. That is massive in that fight there to keep Natko protected finally.
Yeah.
And to be able to stay alive. Again, that's what I was talking about, man. The damage.
Look at the poor man. He's just, he is force-feeding him water. But luckily, he's still...
Like Mr. Gush.
Hey, look, it's a very different sound here. I'll tell you. Wait until Gore gets picked up and I'll show you the Mystic Gush. But in the meantime, this is the big problem with sieging, especially with Melissa. One of her greatest strengths is throwing muddles past the wave so that Falcons can't walk up and you can poke them out early. Conceal out, okay, Deadly Magic too, but Zkeep, he's already in that front lines. He's paying attention.
Okay, Cuffin's got the Minoan Fury. Are they going to go for this mid-turret?
Minoan Fury coming out. Oh no, but the back line getting attacked already as Zkeep is already dead. Throne Ruin is great, but the Blade of Tempest might just be a little bit better. Boyet down to the ground, and they're looking for one more in Alice 2 for the triple.
Oh, it's only Troll alive. He's going to try to clear out the waves. He kicks Arrow 404. Uh-oh. There's nothing he can do off that.
No, truly nothing. And that's the danger of Ling in these assassin matchups. Ling is so good at one-shotting you. You can be the most mobile hero in the world, but if you don't got those iframes, it's a dangerous game of ball.
Very tough first match there for Falcons meta. Off of it, Vamos, they knew the game plan. They got stalled out a little bit. But it was just one of those cases again where this composition, man, worked out in their favor. You're talking about a 10-0-4. This is probably, in the past couple weeks that we've seen the Ling come through, this is the most deadly Ling we've seen.
Oh yeah, no, this is standard military practice versus guerrilla warfare here, right? The rigidness of this composition is what makes it so good. But on the opposite end for Falcons, they gotta figure out ways to really get creative in getting those backlines. And to be fair, they were great. Sanji and Troll, by far, amazing engages into the backline, and that's what dragged this game out for so long.
Yeah, this is, they had their moments in the game. You know, as you're looking at the highlights here from STC, there was multiple moments where it looks like they had this game in their hands. They were able to go ahead, take the team fight over to Vamos, but then they also got into these instances where I think their head was on a swivel too much. You know, they had to look around too much, and then they just got in this position where it was like, man, how do we keep track of Aero 404? Because when we're caught in this team fight that's being breaking out, as you see us looking there, it's like, hey, we forgot there's a Ling on the other side. This guy's gonna shred through us, and we're so hard focused on Natko. But then again, when Natko can survive and Aero 404 can roam around and do his thing in the skies, basically, you have free reign.
And that's the thing. I think that right now in Mobile Legends, the meta needs to understand, yes, it is risky to have a singular win condition. We need to see multiple win conditions in a composition baked in naturally.
Well, let's go ahead and throw it over to our interview for this matchup.
An amazing opener match coming up from Team Vamos, and right now with us on stage, we will be having a quick chat with Error 404. How are you?
Very good.
Okay, now, you know what? Let's talk a little bit about the game, because prior to the game, we saw an interview with you and Eterna, and you looked very stressed. You looked very tense. Now that you won your opening match in MSC with a 2-0 clean sweep, how are we feeling?
I feel very relieved because we got to close the game 2-0.
Now, I'm sure a lot of the Malaysian fans back at home are definitely happy with your win today. Now, let's talk a little bit about the game. We saw that in your opening match, you picked Eudora twice, and the Ling came out, played perfectly. Talk to us about the Eudora pick first.
I think we got it from other teams in scrims, so we just started practicing it, and we use it today. Yeah.
Do you think it's going to be an effective mid laner moving forward?
I think it's a really meta pick right now, Eudora.
Okay. Now, next question. The Ling. How are we feeling about the Assassin picks making a comeback this MSC? I know that you're an Assassin user yourself.
Yeah, for me, I'm happy because I'm an Assassin user, so it's my time to show my heroes.
Ooh, I cannot wait. Is there anything you want to say to the Malaysian fans watching back at home?
Thank you for all the support, and I hope you guys can support us for the next match as well, and we will do our best.
Aw, thank you very much, Air 404. I'll see you on your next match. That's it from us. Let's show it over to the studio to break down what happened in this amazing clean sweep match. Throwing it back to you guys.
It's my time to show my heroes. Error 404 puts that on the screen of every single player from Team Falcon's meta, because there's something that they just could not compute in that win. Unkillable was the Assassin heavy jungler, and they take the win 2-0 Team Vamos against Team Falcon's meta. Mirko, Lefel, and I'll go to you first since you are our Malaysia man here. I mean, that was a team win for Vamos that was, to me, it left no questions, right? Even despite a lot of people thinking that it was going to be, look at these predictions, 92%. Vote for Falcons coming up, but it was a 50-50 for ours. If you didn't see that, most people thought this would be a lot more even, and Aero 404 showed that's not happening.
Yeah, for sure. People do know me as the Malaysian man, as they call me that for
MM.
Yeah, MM for a few years. But yeah, I gotta say that was exhilarating because I think, Mirko, we're on the same page here, where we haven't seen the Assassins for a good 2 to 3 weeks. Seeing how Aero 404 pilot that lane, that was refreshing. That sets up MSC so well. We see tank junglers like the Gwyn, it works out well. And then you see the lane, and then after that first match, that's the best way to open up MSC, because now you know it's uphill from here. The meta is gonna look so good.
And you gotta remember, you know, it was a Fanny and a Hirara banned out. So already 2 Assassins banned out. Then we see the Ling contested as well. We don't get to see the items here. I actually came into it. All right, so we got in game. I saw the Melissa pick and I was like, all right, Melissa. Then I went in, I saw the battle spell and I was already disappointed because, hey, usually on Melissa, you go Inspire. I would know. I'm a one trick. Not really, but I play the hero a lot. But then we look at the game again and we see the build path, and it's different. It's no longer just the 3-item power spike of attack speed.
Here it is.
Here it is. He goes for... So it is. Wait, he still goes attack speed, but I've heard that in scrims, the reason they don't go for Flicker and Purify is because they go Corrosion into crit. So I don't know if in this case, they saw a lot of tanky guys, so he wanted a bit more shred, or what's the case, but again, if you go crit, if you go Flicker Purify, then we'll see. I guess we'll see. Because I still think it was interesting to see Flicker instead of Purify anyways against the Choke.
I mean, maybe also because, again, it's their first match. It's one of those things that they just forget to change. Because, you know,
maybe
there are some human errors.
That's
but
true.
I feel like after that game, maybe Coach Valdo was talking and is like, that was fine, but against other teams, we might get punished. So let's remind ourselves to change the spell when we get into the game.
And I feel like now the interview with Boyet, it strikes us a bit different. Now it's like, yo, you didn't have enough practice. So if you didn't scrim too much, you don't know what the meta picks are, right? And the Eudora, the Melissa, it definitely messed with them.
And when you know you're getting kind of beat in the macro and kind of the decisions before the game, you're kind of like, wow, wait, are we ready for this? And now it does kind of make it seem like they knew they were going to have to go back to the drawing board, study up a little bit, and get ready for their next match. Good thing is we still have more games for Team Falcons Meta. They're not out yet, but it's a great start for Team Vamos as they take the 2-0. Team Falcons PH and Guangzhou Gaming. Well, you thought it was 92% to 8% that Guangzhou Gaming would take the win over Team Falcons. And of course, Falcons in that 92 percentile. We'll see if that is going to happen as we come up with that as our next match. Of course, Vitality Rippers and Team Spirit Ignite closing out our day as well.
I mean, like, I'm with the crowd for saying 92% for Team Falcons Field.
I agree.
Let's just say they are one of the champions to win it all. I want to see how, with this as a matter here, Kyle will perform, because that's also back in 2024, one reasons why they made it all the way to the grand finals.
I'm just so excited to see Kyle, Niall, Kyrie, all of these guys on Assassins, man. I am so excited, seriously.
It is going to be fun. It already was very fun. And if you've got that right, we want to know. And especially if you want to see if you can get it right next time, join the 92. Join the 8. See if you're right. Check out our tournament pick'ems, esportsworldcup.com/play. Scan the QR code. You can let us know if you know who is going to perform in these upcoming games. Up next, we want to show you a little something from our game Ace Craft, which has a brand new co-op mode called We Fly Together. Check it out. We'll be right back.
A lot of people are haunted by their past. I'm inspired by it.
They're not just playing for themselves, they're really playing for their entire family.
They have defeated their demons! They have crushed the curse! He thinks he can come in here and play my game! Let's go. He knows nothing! Let's go!
Tyler Wine, you're done.
Raw energy, half for half and blow the house down! This ain't no regular thing. I came for the ring, you know what I mean. You see my name in the lights, better get right, I'm champion.
We were there. For every click, every clutch, every respawn. We were there for the years of grind. And we're here. Now. The proud founding partner of EWC. Powering the biggest event in gaming. Shoulder to shoulder with the world's best. Making history. Greatness deserves a stage. Lenovo Legion. Reach your impossible.
Well, not only can you watch EWC and MLBB MSC at EWC 2026 with all of our YouTube and Twitch official channels, you can also become a co-streamer and join in on the action. If you want to do so, make sure to check it out and go to our creator program, which will allow you to not only earn some cool prizes, but also help to build an audience with the great content that is available here to be put on Showcase. So if you're ready to join, check out that QR code, scan it with your phone, and become a co-streamer. We'd love to have you as well. And if you just want to watch, that's okay too, you know, if you want. But hey, we'd love to have you here. Rain Day back on the desk with Mirko and LaFell as we start to preview our next matchup in today's 4-game series. And we've got Team Falcons yet again, this time PH versus Guangzhou Gaming. Fellas, just some initial thoughts on what it looks like to see Team Falcons after missing all of the international events last year, finally back on the stage versus Guangzhou and their first international here.
Well, I think, you know, they fixed a lot of the errors. They invigorated the roster as well coming into this. I think Team Falcons PH are looking very, very strong coming into this. Yes, they did lose in the grand finals, but I think it was also a different meta. In the current meta, I really feel like Team Falcons PH has what it takes to do what they did in the past. MSC 2024, the first time at EWC, they made it all the way to the grand finals.
Something that I do have to say, where I feel like I talk about this backstage, it kind of feels like they're trying to go back-ish to the 2024 meta, right? Because in MWI, even the grand finalists are the same. And that's why for Falcons PH, that's where I'm like, wait, hold on. This is looking like familiar territory for them. So I'm actually looking forward for Team Falcons PH to be surprisingly, unsurprisingly good here.
So same finals, but a different champion this time in MWI. So Falcons, SRG, and Falcons winning this time?
No.
Is that the script? Is that the script?
Hold on.
Malaysian man.
I mean, like, it went all 7 games, and at the final game, you know, the $1 million pick happened. We'll see if that happens again.
I mean, there's $1 million on the line here as well, so anything can happen. Falcons PH about to take the stage. This roster filled with great players who want to make their mark here, especially at MSC. We mentioned Guangzhou. We'll talk about them a little bit later. But for the 92% favorites from your votes in the chat, it's time to hear from Flap as we got a chance to catch up with him prior to the start of the set.
We're now here with one of my favorite EXP laners. It's Flap. Welcome back.
Hello, guys.
How's Paris treating you?
It's all good.
Did you like the food? Did you like the hotel? Everything okay for you?
Yeah. This is the best.
Oh, this is the best. And we are with one of the best, right? So, Flap, we haven't seen you in quite some time. I think the last time we saw you on an international stage was MSC 2024 runner-ups. What's different for you this time around?
The difference is that I'm more hungry to win this championship.
But you had breakfast, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just, making sure. How did you prepare for your next match here against Guangzhou Gaming?
We just trained in the hotel. Yeah.
Train in the
That's
hotel?
pretty much it.
Anything else? So you do specific to Guangzhou Gaming that we should know about?
Nothing specific.
Nothing specific?
Yeah, we're ready.
Yes. They're ready. We're ready as well. Flap, good luck. Thank you so much. Over back to you.
Flap, a 2-time M-Series world champion, M2 and M5. He's got to play a big role in today. Mirko, Falcons are going to do well.
Absolutely. He's crucial to Falcons winning. And what the heck? You might be right. What's going on with these players when they get interviewed by Eterna? Who is that? That's not Flap.
Hey, I mean, like, here's the thing.
Flap does the thing. He always taunts and poses. What?
Eterna's posing some problems.
Hey, you don't know. Eterna behind the scenes. She's a girl boss. She intimidates.
You know what? She might have just arm wrestled him right before that.
Oh.
With 2 hands as well. And then he was like trying to catch his breath and just get ready to go. I think that could be it.
That could be it.
That could be it, honestly. You guys haven't seen Eterna. Like, she's strong.
Yeah.
She's like, what, 82 kgs now?
Yeah, she's strong for a twig.
Oh my gosh, we're having some fun here on the desk. We got plenty of time to talk Falcons, and we got plenty of time to talk Guangzhou as well. As a roster, these guys have been really effective, and obviously coming from China, this is a very important story for them.
Yes.
It is their first international event this year, and I think this is an opportunity, hopefully, for them to not only be a hope for China, but also to be starting a path which they hope to finish as they improve as a roster. We had a chance to catch up with May again, so hopefully he can get some words down with Wolf and Eterna.
Eterna here with Team Captain May. And of course, we do have Wolf here to help translate this coming into this next matchup. So first and foremost, what was your reaction coming into this, knowing that you are going to be up against Team Falcon first?
我是挺开心的，因为能对阵世界冠军菲律宾的世界冠军，而且他们的教练其中之一是我们 GJG 之前的 coach。
He said that he's happy and he's glad that he's able to go against Falcons, knowing that the former coach of Guangzhou Gaming before is currently a coach of Falcons, which is Coach Ren.
Okay, so they used to coach you. Do you have maybe a message to Coach Ren?
Yeah, Coach Ren.
You have a message?
我希望比赛能互相发挥好吧，就是我很珍惜这次对战。
He said wishing good luck to both teams.
Okay, wishing good luck. And you know, speaking of Filipino people, you also have a Filipino player on your team, right? You have Sai. Did Sai mention anything to, you know, beat the Filipino team Falcons?
西外不是菲律宾人吗？他问这是西外有没有说啥，就想打巴黎的英人或是啥。
他说他想赢 Super Marco。
He said that he wants to defeat Super Marco.
Oh, okay. So he just personally wants to defeat Super Marco. Fair enough, fair enough. You're going to get that matchup later on. And of course, as team captain, what are you going to say to your fellow teammates before this next matchup?
你作为队长，你有没有什么想跟你自己队友说的？
我觉得就放轻松一点打吧，因为比赛有很多。
He said that he's just chill and enjoy the game, just knowing that there are going to be a lot of competitions.
Okay, so we can feel confidence, we can feel, you know, chillness coming in from this team. So once again, good luck, and we're throwing it back to you.
I think he passed the Eterna test. I don't know about you guys. I think he did well. But maybe that's because of the translation that had to occur.
He has a friend, yeah.
Gave him a chance, and he had a buddy nearby. All jokes aside, there's no jokes in this matchup. There's a very few tougher opponents that Guangzhou Gaming could face in an opening matchup than the Filipino Titans of Team Falcons PH. But if they are going to prove that they deserve to be on this global stage at this level and that they can make a run, Mirko, some would say this is the type of team they have to beat.
Oh, absolutely. You know, we got to see a glimpse of what Guangzhou Gaming had in their arsenal at M7 wildcard, and they were the favorites to actually win it. Unfortunately, they didn't, but they stole the show a couple of times. Modi, fan favorite of the chat. Everybody loves Modi in the chat. He's amazing on these playmakers in the XP, and I feel like him and Maze, they're going to have to work double time here if they want to get a win against Falcons PH.
LaFell, what's the most important matchup here? Is it Modi and Flap in that EXP lane? What do you think is the need for this game's focus to be on in terms of who wins or who loses this matchup?
I mean, it does look like this is the meta where we're going to be looking at the EXP as well as the jungle here, because here's a general rule for Mobile Legends. If your EXP is losing, your jungler is losing as well, because your EXP laner really opens up the map. And when the map is open, your jungler can get a lot of farm. And by proxy, you're making the other jungler weaker time by time and time again. So yes, Modi is an excellent player, but Flap, man, two-time M Series champion. Like, that guy is an icon in
Legacy.
the EXP. If somehow Modi can take down Flap, now that's the bigger statement. Like, that's one of the things where even if you lose, it's fine. You can say you beat Flap.
And that's also, I think, the different stages of where these teams are at. So many of the players on Falcons have trophies in their trophy cabinet. It's kind of completing the cabinet now with MSC, because this is one of those trophies that many of the players do not have, right?
Yeah, not gonna lie, a bit annoying.
A bit annoying?
A bit annoying. They have so many trophies. Could, you know, like
give us some.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I would like for them to share, but it's okay, because to be the best, you got to beat the best.
Yeah.
That's why they still have to beat Vitality. They haven't done that.
Yes, you're right.
Yep.
Vitality champions for sure. This one
undefeated at EWC across 3 years and M Series across 7 years.
Never lost a single game.
Never.
Wow. Well, and the hometown org at this point, with Paris being the home of this MSC. I mean, and that was one of the things you guys talked to me about as well, learning the game this week and having the privilege to speak to you guys about the importance of this tournament. One of the things that was echoed was the fact that this is in Paris now. It wasn't always global. And the fact that it is, it adds even more to the importance and the impact of winning.
Absolutely. I think you heard from the players as well, man. They feel like it's the best. Flapteasy literally said it's the best because, man, I think for them, it's just a dream to visit Paris at the start. They would have never thought that MLBB would bring them here and to compete here at the biggest stage for MLBB in front of the world, in front of millions of people watching. That's the dream. And for Flap, that's why he's hungrier than ever.
And speaking of Team Vitality, speaking of Na'Vi, speaking of Team AG, and all of those orgs, they're playing for something maybe even bigger than just a single championship. They're playing for the Club Championship trophy. We've got Chris ready to give us an update on how things are faring so far.
2 weeks of competition have passed here at EWC, and the Club Championship is well underway. And well, as you can see from behind me, the totem is starting to fill up. Still plenty of games still to go. None other, of course, than MLBB, the MSC, currently ongoing. So that should be interesting as we do continue on. That's what you guys are all here for. Irrelevant of that, though, we do have an update of how things have been working out across the board the past couple of weeks. Right now, it is Na'Vi who are leading the Club Championship with 1,750 points, but they're only competing in one game this week. Vitality, however, who are currently second, only 300 points behind, are competing in all 4 games. So that's a massive moment for them to potentially catch up and see if they can do something about it. Falcons are another team who we have been talking about plenty, currently only sitting on 600 points, but also competing in all 4 games this week. A really interesting one, actually, that they are competing in. A wild card that came through for Falcons through the qualification stages to get here and play in EAFC is MS Desari, one of the owners of Team Falcons, formerly a FIFA World Champion, of course. He's going to be going through it and see what he can do when things do come down to it. Let's see how he can do at EAFC. That's a hell of a story to continue with. But yeah, I'll be giving you updates across the Club Championship throughout the rest of the week.
Thanks a bunch, Chris, and also reminding us all that Falcons are back-to-back winners of the Club Championship. Will we see a new Club Championship winner this year? We'll find out. Stay tuned for all the action. We'll keep you covered with what's going on in the CC. Now, as we head back to MSC, on the desk, Mirko, as we preview this lineup, what to you stands out as the biggest narrative? Again, we've talked about Falcons being winners. We've talked about, them representing the Philippines. We've also talked about the story with Guangzhou Gaming. What rings the most important here in game 1?
I think it comes to just understanding the meta right now.
Both teams.
Both teams. I think it comes down to understanding the meta. We saw earlier a big contrast of one team really pushing all of it, all of the meta picks from scrims that they said as well into the stage, and the other playing it very conservative, playing it with the old picks. So right now, I think it comes down to who has adjusted better, Falcons PH or Guangzhou Gaming.
And you mentioned that the coach of previously Guangzhou Gaming is now the coach for Team Falcons, Vren. How does that play into maybe feeling comfortable, LaFell, that they kind of know what's going to show up for Falcons, or for Falcons feeling that they know some of their opponents?
Yeah, it's good for Falcons for sure, because at this point, they know the identity of Guangzhou Gaming, and that's also the other thing. Like, meta is very important, but you cannot stray too far away from your own identity, because you might end up making mistakes just because you're breaking out of your habits. There are some habits that's good for you to break out of, but some of them is so drastic to the point where you're getting out of character, your passion is not there, and your decision-making might be the worst. So for Guangzhou Gaming, I do believe they need to follow the meta, because if not, they're going to get stomped. But at the same time, you got to follow your identity. Which so far, coming in from the China region, it's all about that gold lane. They try to make the gold lane the strong lane. We'll see if they can do that.
And that is going to be difficult from what I've just saw. I mean, with Error 404 dominating the game like that, you can just see that Assassins in the jungle, Mirko, I mean, if they're played at that level, they are going to need to be dealt with.
Oh yeah, it's going to be very, very tough, especially when Kyle Teasy's on that lane, that Fanny, any of Assassins that he can get his hands on. Again, we saw Fanny and Hirara banned. If we see a Hirara game, it's going to be ridiculous. But also, though, I'm glad that we got to see the Minotaur in game number 1, because if it wasn't for that, I think May is going to hesitate a bit on that pick. It is a pick that they've actually found a lot of comfort with, playing it a lot in the M7 qualifiers for the Chinese teams. And coming into this, I still think it makes sense with the identity that they have. Play around team fights.
Yep. By the way, I gotta say, Mirko as well as Rain, this is gonna be our second match, but I'm already seeing that the bans are gonna be something the coaches are gonna have trouble with, because now with the Assassins coming up, a lot of Assassins has to be respect banned, and that will become a problem. When you know a team can't use these certain Assassins, there's gonna be a big difference when it comes to the bans here, where certain teams like Vamos, like Falcons, maybe even Team Liquid, making it so that they're going to win the draft just by proxy of a threat that's not even there just yet.
The winner of this match will face off against Team Vitality versus True Rippers, our next match's winner, while the loser will face the loser in an elimination match. Remember, we are going into an upper and a lower bracket for both Group A and for Group B. So that will be maybe different if you're used to certain upper brackets and lower brackets that combine these groups. No, it's going to be different. So Group A, the teams you're seeing here, are going to be playing against other Group A opponents. So every single match is going to impact every single other match. There's something to learn from every single game that we're watching here, especially if you're one of the teams that didn't do well. It's going to be waiting in the wings like Team Falcons Meta previously against Team Vamos. Guys, I just got to say, predictions. Do you think Falcons is taking this one to start off? They're coming in stronger?
Yes.
Yes? Yes. Is there
pretty confident, yes.
Very confident, yes.
Yeah, no hesitation, yes.
If Guangzhou's going to steal it, what do they have to do? Quick thought. Is it just get a better draft?
They got to shut down Kyle.
Is it overperform?
But that's one of those things that's easier said than done.
They got to shut down Marco, Kyle, Haji, Open, and Flap.
They got to shut everybody down. We'll see if Guangzhou Gaming can impress yet again as they face off versus Team Falcons PH in our Game 2.
Yes, my friends, that is the setup for our second matchup for today. But first up, quick recap, right? We have two dark horses to open things up for our matches here, Rose, at MSC. And happy for Vamos. They got it in.
Yes, indeed. Hala Vamos for the Malaysians back at home. That was an incredible series. 2-0. A lot of amazing picks off the board. But now we enter the second match of the day where we will be seeing Falcons Philippines going up against Guangzhou Gaming.
Yes, this is a pickup in its own right. It's a fight between a giant and newcomers in there. I can't wait to get this one started.
So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Falcons Philippines. The last time that they were on this very stage, they went all the way to the grand finals. Now the question is, this time, will they be able to start their journey on the right foot after not being in MSC 2025?
That is indeed a lot of pressure on their back, but of course, no game is complete with only one team. Please join me in welcoming their opponents, Guangzhou Gaming! From heartbreak at M7 wildcard to the main stage of MSC, their journey has been a treasure to witness. As a rising tide lifts the ships of their region, their goal is clear. Show the established powerhouses that there's new challengers for them to fear.
Ooh, this matchup is going to be interesting because like I've mentioned, Falcons Philippines went all the way to the grand finals, meaning they are veterans, they are contenders. However, Guangzhou Gaming, on the other hand, they are the newcomers. Will an upset happen in today's match?
It's the cool part of it. Everybody loves an underdog story, and this game has it in space. So please, gentlemen, Guangzhou, please place your keys. Please, Team Falcons. Remember, captains, to shake your hands before this game starts, and we'll see it. They're going to go to the middle, and well, the handshake. It's all love and care, but in the server, it looks different. Let's send it then to our desk to get our game started.
Thank you so much, Rose and Milos. Man, it's a fun green room with those two. Some great talent and some great games starting us off here for MLBB, MSC in Paris, France. 16 of the best teams in the world vying for that $1 million prize pool. Now it's time for China to see what they can do against some of the all-stars of the Philippines representing Team Falcons in our second series of 4 for today. As we kick off the draft, we've got Mirko and Lafell with me. And guys, this is important. If Guangzhou's going to do it, you guys said maybe an uphill battle. The audience thinks so too. 8% only thinking that they can get the job done. They're going to have to do something in this draft to surprise Falcons.
Look at him, he's locked in. Tied his hair real quick.
Right now, I do have to say, if you're new to MLBB, one of the reasons why I feel Falcons Philippines will win this one is, in the current meta, if you lose the first 2 minutes of the game, it's actually very hard to come back into the game just by how the jungle has changed in terms of the values and everything like that. And Falcons Philippines have, I would say, all across the board. One of the best laners in every lane. Flap is amazing in the EXP. Super Marco is amazing in the gold. And it makes it so that winning those lanes is going to be very difficult. And I'm just worried if Falcons just wins the first turtle fight, and then they just start controlling the jungle, and then it just becomes an unfair battle.
Yeah. I'm a fan of that up until, I think, like a point that I want to talk about would be, I think the first 2 minutes. I don't think the first 2 minutes dictates the entire game. We saw it earlier as well for Falcons versus Valmo. So I think we push it back to maybe 6. I think around Turtle 2, whoever gets snowballing from there, then it gets really tough to come back. But even then, I'm not too sure because we've been seeing utility versus assassin. We've seen a weird, off-meta assassin in the Harley against a meta assassin. I want to see how it looks like if it's like a Fanny versus Ling, if it's a Fanny versus Hirara versus Ling, or heck, even a Nolan, right? Because then I'd say there's going to be a lot of room for comebacks.
I'm just thinking that we won't be seeing the Fanny. Like, unless...
Yeah, probably not.
Unless the jungler is at best a B tier at Fanny, I don't see the Fanny letting out of the bans.
How common is it, as we take a look at the map reveal, hold that question for the draft? Will it be another Broken Walls? Or will we get a mix-up? It's Expanding River this time around. LaFell, your thoughts on finally a new map here?
Yeah, Expanding Rivers make it so that winning in the lanes is going to be that much more important, making it so that you can go through the neutral objectives like the Turtle as well as the Lord much, much faster. So now the lane matchups gets even more punishing, honestly.
So if you're winning lane, you have even more access to the jungle, basically. You can snowball that.
Can rotate around very, very quickly. So I guess we'll find out again what picks get picked up for both the teams here.
Very interesting here. Looks like Falcons is going to be the first pick, betting out the Belleric as well as the Claude. So this looks like they got a lot of information going up against Guangzhou Gaming, and I guess that's good for them considering the old coach from Guangzhou went over to Falcon. So this is the advantage that we see, that we don't need to ban meta picks. We just got to ban the picks that you know how to play.
Talk to me about the Eudora. You were excited about that. You got a little inside info on that. I'm not knowing where it came from. I'm not like teasing you about it and saying reveal, but clearly has been an impact. 2 picks already. You've seen her in every game. You expect to see her here?
I think so. If both teams are planning to go for Assassins, it's great to night pick. That's #1 against the Assassins, but it's also very good against the Assassins, right? You can lock her down. So the Atlas gets banned out there. Final ban. I think we will see more Eudoras. Maybe not first pick, though. I think first pick here, Hirara got banned, Fanny got banned. Even the Freya. The only pick that we've seen banned out that finally gets open here would be like the Phoveus Jusin. So I'm thinking maybe those two for Falcons for first pick.
Personally, for me, I feel like the Zushin is still a pretty strong pick, but considering how many dashes, the amount of mobility in this game, it's not a great time for the Zushin. So that's why I'm not going to see a lot of it. Ling first pick here. We got to see Eudora. If not, this Ling is going to be so free.
Yeah, Eudora Phoveus could be the answer, but they go Esmeralda. Esmeralda Eudora?
Yeah, I think they just want to win the lane, picking out the Esmeralda. Quite good in the lane, but is not an answer towards the Ling. So a little bit of disconnect here where unless they win the EXP so hard, you start controlling the jungle, it's going to be pretty difficult. And a very early Harif where, again, coming from the region of China, they do like their goat laners. But my worry is, if they pick up a Moskov, I can see it. But picking up a Harif here, they're not having any crowd control for this Ling. I don't even think they have enough burst damage for the first 12 to 30 minutes of the game to deal with the Ling.
Are you happy if you're Falcons to try to grab Eudora yourself?
I'd say yeah. I'd be down for it. You know, the Eudora
just to deny it on the other side?
It's great on the deny, but it's also great with your assassin, right? Because usually when you're on the Ling or any of the assassins, you need a bit of burst damage. And bro, give me some time, friend. I was gonna get to the Brody.
You gotta get your points in,
I'm sorry, man. I was answering the Eudora pick.
I know. That was me. I messed you up. I messed you up. You would have said
it. It's okay. Harith Esmeralda gets picked up. This is the question on the Falcons roster. We know at M5 they play strong side gold lane so well, and this is what we've been talking about as well. The Brody pick and the Dyrod. So you have physical shred, and then you have double carries on physical damage.
Bursty as well.
Oh my God.
I gotta say, Raid and Mirko were on track for 90 unique hero picks at MSC, because we're already second match and we're seeing a lot of new picks here. Guangzhou Gaming goes with the Hilda. Good and bad here. The Hilda should be good to pressure the Ling, but going up against a Dyrov likes it when you have a lot of armor because there's so much that he can take away. And at that point, Ling won't be punished. Ling will have enough damage to take you down.
And it's a winning matchup. I've been saying this from MWI. We've been seeing an MWI CC to answer the Esmeralda, where in reality, for me, I'm like, where's the Dyrov, right? This guy just got buffed. My boy's playing it in ranked. It's pretty good. It just smashes Esmeralda in lane. Even the Hilda's going to find a lot of difficulties walking up.
It's not great.
Your physical defense gets shredded, and you have 2 bursts right there with you.
And you're talking about win conditions. The Dairoth and the Ling, both 2 characters that feel like if they get going, it's going to be hard to stop them. So a lot of...
All 3 of them, honestly.
Yeah.
And then the Eudora gets banned out, right? So they're taking away another burst damage hero.
I gotta say, this is one of those games where Falcons can end it very easily because Brody is one of those heroes back in the day is just a turret destroyer.
Got a world championship skin.
Yeah, world
That's
championship
Marco.
skin. Like, here's the thing. The moment your eyes are on lane, you're like, this is a problem. We gotta, wait, where's our turrets? Wait, why is he in base? Wait, did the game just end?
10 minutes?
Too many things to focus on.
I gotta say, Brody is gonna steal so much turrets. The Link can steal so much turrets. This is already a nightmare in terms of micro, but more importantly, the macro. Like, there's so much magic gonna happen in this game.
So you mentioned Moskov. Is the answer something that's global, something that can help on those rotations when you have someone pushing a lane and you need to get over there quickly?
That's why it would have been a better pick over the Harith, really. Because, like, I see the Harith, I see why they went for it. Again, Guangzhou Gaming, they're known for team fighting, but they needed something to answer the side lanes. If you know Falcons, they're definitely going to try to play those side lanes. They're definitely going to lane or play for lane dominance. And they got it on every single lane. XP, it's a winning matchup. Gold lane, it's a winning matchup up until the Harith gets all the free resets.
Rain, I gotta say, for everyone that's not super familiar with the MLBB draft, this is very uninteractive, where you're just picking up heroes that you want to use without considering the opponent's pickup. So it's basically like you're playing rock, paper, scissors, but you only go for rock. You don't change the paper, you don't change the scissors.
And you'll win a little bit of the time. But in a best of 3, when an opponent's knowing a little bit about what you do, it may not be enough. And that's the worry here for Guangzhou Gaming.
I don't think Zushin is the answer. Like, where's the damage?
I think right now Falcons just go for the Gord Kalea, right? Like, you already reveal all your cards here. You just go for extra burst, so it's good against the Harith. You have that range to bully the juice in lane. And it's an answer to Esme as well with the Shred.
So my question is this. You have one more pick, right? And we're talking about them playing rock. How do you salvage this draft? How do you get the win condition? Because Guangzhou needs something that they're going to be able to rely on.
Right now, their biggest problem is early game damage. Like, it's weird to say, the most